All right, third episode in a row. This is the first time ever in the history of Darkdox Digest, or really anything that I've ever done, where I've done something every single day like this. And I'm dedicated, and it's only going to get better from here. Welcome to Darkdox Digest. Today is January 8th, 2025, and it is brought to you in part by darkdox.me/shop. Definitely, we check out, we have some new products. Mini portable projector loaded with documentaries, all the Alex Jones films, all of our films, Zeitgeist, Esoteric Agenda, you name it. If you want something for on the go, we have this MP4 player that also plays MP3s. So we have all of the William Cooper archive on there, all of the Alex Jones movies, all that kind of stuff. We still have some of these Trump Vance buttons. They're 1 inch buttons, pinbacks, some people call them. And yeah, I finally got a lower third back, so you can see what's going on here. We got plenty of Sacred Owl stickers. More are coming. We're going to be having some new shirts printed next week, but we have plenty of this stuff still in the inventory. If you haven't already, pick up Sacred Owls. They Are Here to Save the World. We have it on Blu-ray and DVD. On this follow-up film, live from the lockdown that we shot during the lockdown here in Orlando from COVID. Tales of Terror 1 and 2 are still in stock, and Tales of Terror 3 is coming this Halloween. So if you're not familiar, we've done two comic books that are also a soundtrack, because Sacred Owls is our band, but we also have our friends' bands like Will Brack, Dougie Flesh and the Slashers, Gyro Jets, The Propol, Jess O'Lantern, Wes Morrison and the Stray Hairs. We're going to have a bunch more different artists on this new Tales of Terror 3. So definitely check those out. And yeah, so also we have an affiliate program with the alexjonesstore.com/darkdox. If you go to the alexjonesstore.com/darkdox, whatever you order, we get 10% of what you pay this operation. And if for those of you that are worried, like, oh, I can't give any money to Alex Jones because it's just going to go to Bloomberg and The Onion and Everytown Gun Grabbing Foundation, that's not the case. This is run by Bigley. They do the Thompson twins and a bunch of other conservative commentators, online stores, and they're a third party that has nothing to do with InfoWars, nothing to do with Alex Jones, other than he has licensed his information and likeness for them to make products. Something that just came out today, which is hilarious, is they have the Save the Frogs mug and collectible plush bundle. That's a tongue twister. And for those of you that don't know what this is about, atrazine in the water has been proven to turn frogs gay, and the mainstream media made fun of Alex that, oh, he's crazy, no, the water's not turning the frogs gay. Or look it up, it's called atrazine, and it's a byproduct of industrial manufacturing, and it turns the frogs homosexual or asexual, so they can't reproduce. So now they're going extinct. So they have these Save the Frogs thing. They also have a T-shirt of it, and it's very funny. I love it. And so, they're very creative what they're doing over there at Bigley with the alexjonesstore.com. And if you like what I'm doing, throw that /darkdocs at the end of that URL when you first go there and sign up. I have the VIP club, so it's $30 a month, and they give you $40 in store credit and a bunch of other perks that you can look up there. And you can become an affiliate too. There's a become an affiliate button. You can just simply click on that and sign up, become an affiliate, and do what I'm doing and get 10% on your podcast and stuff, and support Alex Jones, support the InfoWar, support Owen Schroyer and everybody over there, Chase Geyser, and why is my because he wasn't on this morning, I forgot his name, and he's not on the Star Wars poster that they made either, which really bugs me. But it's going to come to me anytime now. Wow. Maybe I need to take some of this brain force. This is actually not over here, but it's at the infowarstore.com. And I got to say, I'm not sponsored by this one yet, but I love it. Guarana seed, green coffee bean, green tea leaves, yerba mate, ginkgo leaf, and ashwagandha. And this stuff, just that little bit that I just put in my mouth, it's like a nice espresso shot. So definitely check out InfoWarsStore.com. Is still up and running. I got that last week. Enough pimping, and let's get to it. This is the so Los Angeles is on fire, and Elon Musk just posted this. Devastating. And I need to find a shortcut for that. I know there is one. I was looking for it before the show. I'll figure it out by tomorrow maybe, or Monday. We'll see. But a friend of his in LA took this video. Elon Musk said that was 7 hours ago. And we've been getting all kinds of crazy reports. Here's another one. Nick Sorter, Los Angeles fire hydrants are out of water because the county refused to refill reservoirs, per Rick Caruso. You can't fight a fire without water, quote. The mayor did zero prep despite the advance warnings of wind and fire risk. This is exactly what happened in Maui. I've been hearing a lot of that. Chief Andrew Gruel said the mayor is out of the country. Also, she cut LA fire service by millions this year. Nick Sorter replied, she knew there was a high chance this happening today, that this is going to happen today, but she decided to stay in Ghana anyway. Yeah, so she's out. She's in Ghana, and Hank says, "Holy shit! Talk about negligence on steroids. How many communities have to burn before these so-called leaders start taking basic responsibilities and action?"
They can't fight a fire without water and the resources that are needed. Everybody knew these winds were coming. The other question has to be, were all the things in place to try to, again, mitigate the damage here? But the real issue to me is twofold. We've had decades to go remove the brush in these hills that spread so quickly. And the second is, you got to have water, and my understanding is the reservoir was not refilled in time and in a timely manner to keep the hydrants going. So that's a failure, whether on DWP's part or another city agency. But this is basic stuff. This isn't high science here. And it's all about leadership and management that we're seeing a failure of. And all of these residents are paying the ultimate price for that.
That was going to be my next question, is why isn't there water in the fire hydrants? That doesn't make any sense.
You're right. That's a good question. And I think you should start asking, why don't you call the mayor who's out of the country and ask her and get an answer from her?
Well, they say she's on her way back, and that would be a great question to ask her tomorrow if she's at this briefing at 8 o'clock in the morning, because I think there's a lot of people that are outraged by that fact tonight when they look at scenes like this, at businesses that people have worked really
So there you have that. We're on X now. I'm gonna start posting more here. Darkdox has one. Darkdox Digest has one. I'm sticking with, I'm since Sacred Owls is coming back. We're gonna be doing some stuff with Sacred Owls, and also since Sacred Owls YouTube is the only one that is allowed to have videos, live posts. I'm going to be doing a lot here, but definitely subscribe to all of them. It's all me. It's all awesome. And so speaking of awesome, let's hear from Gavin Newsom. This is the governor of California.
Hi, my name is Gavin Newsom, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm the useless piece of shit responsible for your home burning down. So just keep giving me your insanely high taxes and keep voting Democrat so I can keep burning this motherfucking place to the ground. Thank you. Hi, my name is Gavin Newsom.
Oh, man. I love that Trump is actually calling him Gavin Newsom. Let's see if I can find that search. Donald Trump. I'm not following Donald Trump. You see, I'm not on X. I haven't been on this since it was Twitter. Okay, I am. Cancel. No, I am following. I see. All right. He called him Gavin Newsom, on Twitter. I mean, how great is that? I don't know. I'll probably have to dig for it. I never go on Trump's X. I'm gonna start doing this stuff because it's hilarious. This is some follow-up on the whole Trudeau situation that's going on. John Bound posted this earlier today.
We're standing on the precipice of a new dawn in Canada, folks, where the sun sets on the reign of one Justin Trudeau, clinging to the Prime Minister's seat like a barnacle until his party picks a new captain for their sinking ship. It was announced on this very Monday, January 6, 2025. Trudeau has taken one too many punches and is laying flat on his back on the canvas and resigning.
So last night over dinner, I told my kids about the decision that I'm sharing with you today. I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process.
Without the questionably drug-addled Chrystia Freeland's Nazi family ties and globalist management skills, the elitist tyrannical vision that Justin Trudeau lingered around the halls of power with in the Great White North has crumbled into a heap of fascism, wokeism, and beta male belligerence, to be thrown into the trash heap of history, an example of just how bad things can get when tyranny festers like a nepotistic STD.
Justin! You killed my two sons! Justin Trudeau! You killed my two sons with your lockdowns! Justin! My two sons are dead because of your lockdowns! You deprived my children of the necessities of life, and they're both dead because of you, Justin. Because of you. I have two granddaughters without a father because of you, Justin Trudeau. You killed my two sons, Kane and Jake Elfslager. One of them died on January 1st, and 6 months later the other one died. And you told me you were into this with me together. I never saw you. The truckers were into this with me together. And when I came to Ottawa, you had us beat up. You had your goons steal the sign of my 2 dead sons. You need to be charged with murder!
They're all going down. The Australian government's going to fall. The New Zealand government's going to fall. They're all going down. And you have this giant populist Great Awakening growing. You have my breakdown of how easy it is to defeat the globalists if we just organize against them, because what they're promoting is slavery and death. In a post-industrial world, a death cult. And out of everybody in the world, the richest man in the world, who already had a lot of my same views, like have more kids, people are good, don't depopulate, has now come out in the last few years against world government, calls the globalists a death cult, says George Soros hates humanity, says Bill Gates is evil, and then he is now on all cylinders attacking every one of their agendas and devastating them. And if he was for their agenda and just trying to ride a populist wave to remove them and put himself in charge, it doesn't work like that. You don't educate the public and wreck the whole globalist paradigm in the last 100 years they built and then jump back over. No, he's burning it to the ground. It don't come back. Please remember that you're the reason.
From Mar-a-Lago. I don't think you should be having a rally on the 19th and then doing this very.
I do apologize. My mic was not on. Oh man, so new at this. I'll get it. The Department of Veteran Affairs whistleblower tells O'Keefe Media Group for the first time there was a memo requesting medical personnel from Derrick Jaastad, Executive Director of VHA, Office of Emergency Management, Veteran Health Administration. And here's a clip from that from this morning on the American Journal with Chase Geiser.
This is a perfect opportunity for a terrible thing to occur in the most dangerous times I've ever seen. Let's watch clip number 13.
An internal memo from the Veterans Administration surfaced containing an unusual request, support for the upcoming presidential inauguration. A high-level source inside the Department of Veterans Affairs has disclosed a memo from the Executive Director, Office of the Emergency Management within Veterans Affairs. The source inside the VA said the source deployment request did not occur for the last 2 inaugurations. We spoke to the source inside the VA to ask if this is something that's typical. So can you just talk a minute about this being typical or not typical within the VA? Them doing these sorts of things for the past few inaugurations?
What concerned me was that this has never been requested before, especially not from HHS. What we have, what I saw to me was a little bit unnerving. I've been in the VA for several inaugurations, and this was the first time they have ever asked for DEMS personnel.
First time they've ever asked for personnel.
For an inauguration, yes.
Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. That's why I decided to send that memo to you, because I believe that there's something unnerving about it. I'm not 100% sure, but my gut says this is not normal, and it's not.
The memo details a formal request from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Strategic Preparedness and Response, or ASPR. It calls upon the Veterans Administration to provide critical medical support for the event. Specifically, they sought the deployment of paramedics, registered nurses with expertise in emergency and medical surgical care, and licensed medical practitioners, including MDs, DOs, NPs, PAs, specializing in emergency medicine. The memo is signed by Derrick Jaastad, who is the Executive Director for the VHA Office of Emergency Management. We ask, is this request part of a standard protocol for inaugurations, or is there a specific reason for the heightened medical readiness? We sent an email to the email address provided on the memo, and we have not yet heard back. We also gave a call to the Executive Director himself, Jaastad.
This is Derrick.
Hi, Derrick Jaastad.
Yes?
Hi there. You wrote a memo dated December 10th, distributed internally, and it was said urgent, and you were talking about preparations for the inauguration. I'd like to ask you a few questions about the memo.
How can I help?
A source within the VA has told us that it's quite unusual. Is it typical that you guys out of the Office of Emergency Management deploy these resources for a presidential inauguration?
I can't speak to every, but 2 out of at least the last 3, I want to say 3 out of the last 4.
Well, the source inside the VA is saying that this has not been done for previous inaugurations.
I can't help what the source within the VA has chimed or has claimed, but that is not the case. And indeed, we have supported presidential inaugurations previously. And I would refer you to the Assistant Secretary for Preparedness and Response at the Department of Health and Human Services to attest to that fact.
Can you send me the previous memos?
I would refer you to the FOIA office, Freedom of Information, as I do not have access to materials going back that far.
We filed a FOIA request last week.
Okay, great.
But that's going to take months, if not a year, to receive. We also submitted a Freedom of Information Act request to the Department of Health and Human Services to confirm whether this level of medical support is standard procedure. We have not heard back. So what I'm trying to ascertain is if, and I know this is something that you don't know, is whether or not this is something that happens for each inauguration. Do you know who could help me answer that question?
Yes, VHA Communications.
So you guys have done this during the last inauguration with Joe Biden, the first inauguration of President Trump in 2017. Obama before that. You guys have done this in the past several inaugurations, you're saying?
I personally can't speak to previous inaugurations.
So why is this specific presidential inauguration generating a request for such a significant deployment of medical personnel? Does the Department of Health and Human Services have information regarding a potential event or risk on that day?
For years, we tried to uncover who the pipe bomber was on January 6th. I'm sure everyone in the audience remembers that there was a man in a hoodie who planted a pipe bomb on that day. And they were able to seemingly figure out virtually every single person who was at January 6th, whether they were inside the Capitol or outside the Capitol, whether they were on camera or not. There was a massive whistleblower campaign. There was a massive campaign to try to get friends and loved ones to rat on anyone they could possibly recognize in any of the footage that was captured on cell phone data or uploaded or streamed to social media. Famous instances of sons ratting out their radicalized right-wing extremist fathers for their presence on January 6th. The government knows every single person that was there. They have everyone's cell phone data. I personally not only know people who've been in prison because they were around on January 6th, but I know countless people who I've spoken with. Some have run for Congress. Except that they were interviewed by the FBI. They were visited by the FBI. There's the Brandon Strocks and others as well. Living with ankle bracelets, there's countless examples of people sentenced to years, some even decades in prison, some not even in the Capitol at all, in Washington, D.C. at all on that day. But for some reason, they can't figure out who the pipe bomber is. You think the government doesn't know who that pipe bomber is? Well, I suppose, my speculation, of course, is that the pipe bomber was a Fed. That it was planted intentionally so we could ramp up the seeming harm that was caused from January 6th. After all, the only people who really died on January 6th were the protesters. It was not, as the mainstream media would have you believe, nearly as bad as the Civil War or 9/11, which resulted in the death of 600,000 and almost 4,000 people respectively, over 3,000 people respectively. It wasn't nearly as bad, but if there was a bomb that didn't go off that could have gone off, man, it was almost really bad. It's just like what we saw in New Orleans, with the improvised explosive devices, using materials never before used in the United States for an improvised explosive device that somehow did not go off, despite the fact that there was a remote detonator planted all over the French Quarter in New Orleans.
So, yeah, a lot to unpack there. And pretty much, again, yeah, it's interesting that now, after 4 years, they're bringing up this whole January 6th pipe bomber situation. And even Trump was saying that the FBI knows who the pipe bomber is. He said it the other day in an interview. So it just blows my mind that they can just get away with this stuff. And with very little pushback up until now. Things are changing, and I'm very optimistic. I'm never pessimistic. I'm always apprehensive. I'm always kind of re-questioning and questioning my stances on all these things. There's psyop upon psyop, disinformation upon disinformation, and that's why it's really important that we continue to investigate and discern, listen to different perspectives. And if you are watching this and you disagree with anything that I'm talking about or anything that I'm posting, please send us an email, send us a message over at darkdox.com, and I actually check them, and I'd be happy to have you on the show. I'm open for debate and discourse, and I think it's very important that we do that. So with that being said, let's see what else we got here. I'm gonna squirrel around this for a little bit.
Since King George IV to pour into our country, they can.
Oh, here we go.
It's an incredible. Canada, they come through Canada too, and the drugs that are coming through are at record numbers. Record numbers. I've been waiting for this a long time. As controllers know, tens of billions morally, then he went on to explain it in
What else we got here?
Concepts like One Health.
I will have this for you next show, I promise.
How many coincidences does it take before a coincidence becomes a probability, and what probability level is it to be a near
I think this is yesterday's show. Yes, it was. I deleted today's show, and I have yesterday's show. Man, I'm a hot mess. I apologize to you guys. But honestly, it's good. We're going in a good direction. We already have lower thirds. I'm figuring out the software. I'm pretty happy with this so far. And let me, I don't want to waste anyone's time here. So I'll just touch on these last couple things and we'll call it a day. We'll do a short one today. So in addition, Trump also declares a golden age for America, getting rid of windmills. Those things have always been such a scam. Yeah, in Victoria, the magistrates were giving lighter sentences to illegal aliens who are, many of them violent criminals, and they don't want to sentence them because they want to avoid getting them deported. But these people are hurting people in the country. So I'll have clips on that tomorrow as well. The World Economic Forum 2023, reading brainwaves and thoughts. That's going to be coming up tomorrow. And SmartLA 2028 for the 2028 Olympics. It seems like they have to put a lot of new infrastructure there. And they have all this pesky infrastructure that's there now that they have to get rid of. If only they just had a big fire today. Oh, I'll leave you with that. This is Christian Coffin signing off. Beware. Take care. Bye-bye.